people, I am proud to confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Pomona College with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. You may move your tassels from the right side to the left. You, the class of 2022, are the only graduating class in the history of this college to have had a 1.5-year-long evacuation dropped right in the middle of your time here. You have been at the front lines of history. And those who are with you today have been right there with you. You have climbed a monumental mountain in the midst of a pandemic, and I hope none of us face these trials ever again. But the tenacity and the courage and the creativity and the love and the persistence that have gotten you through, those are yours forever. In every challenge that faces you, the grit and grace that got you through will guide you. You experienced a mind-warping time warp into Zoom. Hopefully, that will never need to be repeated. But the reality is that all of you and all of us have been through the strangest, uncontrolled experiment in human history. It was an involuntary experiment in isolation. Probably the longest period of worldwide isolation humankind has ever experienced. Many of us saw people outside of our homes, rarely, if at all. No controls, no ethics board, no careful notation, no hypothesis to test, except that our isolation would put a pause in this juggernaut long enough for people to find a treatment or a vaccine or a cure. And that part of it worked. But what about the rest of what we went through? Even in the isolation of this pandemic, you have learned or been reminded of how intertwined our lives are. You've learned how quickly things can change. You've learned how much it is better to be together with nothing in between. Yeah, we were partially connected in the electronic ether by Zoom or social media. You've been through that. Well, what's next? What are you going to change? I hope that you are the generation that fully inhabits what it means to be together. Truth be told, most of us weren't truly in person and together even when we thought we were together before this pandemic. Even when we were around people in person, we separated ourselves with our handy little devices, and we pretend that those things are what connect us to each other. Through that hilariously, falsely named social media. But the very word media comes from the root of mediation, which means something between you, something that separates you, even as much as it might seem to connect. And in a world of blink of an eye change, I really urge you to connect, to commit now to community. Don't live in between. I hope you stay tied in lasting ways to the people and the places that have shaped your lives. I hope you go and reunite with your classmates when you get the chance every single time in the years ahead. Tend to your important relationships in real time and in person whenever you can. In the blur of life, of texts and tasks, of triumphs large and small, and losses that knock you down, you will never regret it. So today is not only a day of individual pride, an individual achievement, though there's plenty of that to celebrate. You are now joining in a new way with a larger community, one that stretches all the way around the globe. We all have our identities as individuals, but please don't lose your communal identity as classmates and friends. You have shared an experience that will deeply shape who you are and who you are becoming. Plato knew this truth well. He knew that education is always about becoming. And he tells a story about something he calls the pharmakon. So a pharmakon is a powerful remedy. And in the Phaedrus, he writes about writing itself as this invention, this technology. It's a tool, it's a remedy for loss. We write to help us remember, okay? But in this story, Socrates is an old man. He's an old man with human failings. And there's something ironic about an old man writing about how much you need to remember. And he tells us that writing itself and helping us to remember sometimes will make us forget how to do it entirely. What Plato tells us is that any aid can become a crutch, and that the cure can be a poison too. So think about this. The very technology we relied on to keep us together, to get us through this pandemic, that same technology sowed distrust and confusion and dismay across the globe. While we can recognize that as a poison, we also have to recognize the paradox. One of the most amazing and affecting collaborations in human history was achieved using the same technology. In their hunt for a vaccine, you had scientists around this world, from Turkey to Texas, from the United Kingdom. Every place, that's right, every place. We had to work together as humans to defeat something so small that billions of them could fit in a drop of water. And we did it. The people who did that, they used every means at hand, right? They were emailing, they were using high-performance computing, they were on Zoom, they were on telephones 24 hours a day, all around this world to save lives. They also had to have face-to-face conversations. You know, they had to touch people so sick with an illness they didn't understand. They had to hold their hands as they passed from this earth. when their families couldn't be there. Remember that you need one another, okay? You will do far more together than you ever can do on your own. Hold tight to the people that keep you moving. Because you know what? The rest of us are going to need you. We're going to need you to be present in every way you can over the coming days. Remember 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, there were med students and nursing students and pharm tech students, everyone. Their education went full stop, but they had to graduate and go out and heal. And they did it. Wasn't how they planned, but they did it. There was no mediation for them. There was nothing in between. For the next several minutes, I want you to try a little experiment with me, okay? I want to issue you a challenge, too. I want you to put down the in-between, okay? I want you to double down on being right here together. Practice not GAF what people think. Don't. Just be here and let your mind be your Oculus, okay? And close your eyes or just cast out with your heart for just a minute. Take a deep breath and soothe your soul. See if you can feel around you the people who are here. See if you can feel the love that is all around you from the people here. You're with a community that supported you through the darkest times. This is real life. This is living. Open your eyes back up, and I want you to take a lesson, one last lesson. Our goal for you is for you to live well, not just to achieve. And I want you to live differently. Look for the ways to get rid of what's in between you and the world. I know you will live well. I know you will live better. You will make all of our lives better. We are going to be here for you, rooting for you every day. And today, we're going to cheer you one more time as you head from our campus out into the world. Pursue your promises and your possibilities. Stay connected to each other. Congratulations. We love you.